Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Buckets on Hockey podcast. We are here with Joel Cox. Joel, I am so hyped up for the playoffs. I'm not as nervous as you. I don't know why you're so nervous, but we're gonna get into that. Let's start off. Let's start off lightly, okay? Let's start off with our playoff predictions for the teams out in the East, because this is a very controversial one. I want to know your takes, and I want to list mine as well. Let's see how our playoff bracket looks, and let's see our differences, okay?
Okay, so I'd like to start off by saying the East is definitely the toughest to predict.
For sure.
Like, it's this, I don't know, it can go any way, right?
For sure.
Because let's start with the Pens Isles.
Yeah.
It's really hard to bet against the Isles, no matter how much they've struggled in the last little bit of the regular season, because it seems like they always flip a switch when it comes to playoffs. So I don't know. It's really hard to bet against the Isles. So I'm unfortunately for Penguins fans, and I know it's also really hard to bet against Crosby Malkin in the playoffs. But they don't have Kessel anymore, so they're not winning Stanley Cups.
Of the Conn Smythe Trophy is Evgeny Malkin.
I mean, man, I absolutely agree.
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
I am surprised that we agree on this one, but again, it's hard to go against the Penguins when you really look in depth about it. Again, I could totally see the Penguins going away with this one, but you look at last year.
That's probably, in my opinion, that's the closest 1-4 matchup there will be.
For sure, I agree. I 100% agree. And you look at the year before, not this past bubble year.
Mm-hmm.
The Islanders walked all over the Pens. I think the Islanders have the Penguins' number. I think the series has a little bit of it rings a little bit of a bell, a little bit of Boston-Toronto. You know,
a little bit.
You think the Penguins are better, and I think the Leafs. You know, I did think the Leafs were better in past years against Boston, but the Bruins ended up
when
always
some
winning.
team has your number, it's hard to fight it. But anyway. I'm actually taking the Isles in 7 there.
Yeah,
I do think it's going to go 7.
And I agree with you there. So that's great. Let's go on to the next series in that division. We have the 2-3 series. We have the Boston Bruins versus the Washington Capitals.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's
it's
really
very tough one. Very tough one.
See, the thing is with the East is both series are like a coin toss because it's really hard to pick a favorite per se. Like, there's no favorite to come out of that division. Like, I don't care where you seeded in this regular season. Like,
absolutely,
it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Agree.
I do think the Bruins are rolling right now ever since they got Taylor Hall. But all it takes, you got to remember that from a Leafs fan perspective, when we played Boston those 3 years, how many penalties could Chara have gotten that he just got away with because his name's Zdeno Chara?
Oh man, I let's not talk about any more Leafs Boston. Let's go ahead with your.
No. This is what I'm saying. Like, I think the Bruins are gonna get a taste of their own medicine here and be pissed at Zdeno Chara here, and they're gonna be like, oh, so now they're not calling penalties on Zdeno like they were in Boston. Yeah, I can just hear the narrative already.
Okay.
I can hear it, and I think that the likes of Tom Wilson, and we know how aggressive Ovechkin is in the playoffs. He'll throw some big hits. I don't think the Bruins will match up physically against them, and the Bruins are turning more into a skilled team than a physical team, and that's why I'm going to lean towards the Capitals over the Bruins. So I'm actually going to take the Capitals in, I think it's going 7 as well, but it could go either way.
Okay, so we have our first disagreement, and listen, whenever I think Boston Bruins, I never think first round exit. I'm gonna get that out of the way first.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna talk a little bit about team culture in the or like past cultures and all that, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit with the next division. But in terms of this series, I'm gonna take the Bruins because overall, I think a huge aspect of the playoffs is your goaltending. And, do I trust Tuukka Rask, who has been to a Stanley Cup final, or do I trust Ilya Samsonov? I think it will definitely be a close series. I think there's a lot of X factors in that series. I think Taylor Hall is the huge X factor. That trade deadline acquisition was huge. But overall, again, I'm huge. Whenever there's a coin flip like that, I always look at goaltending, and I'm taking Tuukka Rask over Ilya Samsonov, and yeah, I'm gonna take the Bruins in 7.
There you go.
So,
which isn't a bad pick. So like I said, like coin toss, right? You
yeah.
can go either way.
Anyway, let's go on with the North. And just because we know our fan base, we know our audience, let's go ahead and start off with the 2-3 game first. Let's start off with the Winnipeg Jets versus the Edmonton Oilers. Joel, what do you think happens?
What do I think? I think that if you're gonna see, that one's really, really tough because you don't want, like, you got to think McDavid and Draisaitl are pissed. Like, they're gonna do whatever they can to carry through the playoffs. But there is no depth behind that team. Absolutely zero depth. And I gotta think that once the Jets are back healthy and they have Connor Hellebuck behind them. So I know this is a very unpopular opinion because the Oilers have dominated the Jets in the regular season. I think the Jets are going to come out on that one.
Okay, so you have the Jets winning in how many games?
6.
Okay, so again, we have another disagreement here. I hope you're right. Let me just get that out of the way. Oilers fans, I know you're tuning in now because you've been waiting to see what I have to say about the Oilers. I can't see the Oilers losing to the Winnipeg Jets. I just can't. I think the Winnipeg Jets they peaked early. Again, with Connor Hellebuck, you always have a chance, but I think Mike Smith is playing out of his mind. He's been an unreal goalie in this division. It
would take a Vezina level series from Connor Hellebuck to walk out of that with a win. That's what I'm like. That's for sure what it comes down to.
So I'm gonna disagree with you, and I hope you're right. Let me just say that, so Oilers fans don't get too excited. But I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna take the Edmonton Oilers to win in 6.
In 6.
So
respect that.
Yeah. Okay. So you got the Oilers. I got the Jets. Let's move on to our favorite series, and this is gonna be the most one talked. The most one that's gonna get the most. This is gonna be the most talked about.
100%.
The Leafs versus the Habs. I'll let you, Joel, take as much time as you want to express your opinion on this because obviously we are huge Leaf fans.
Yeah. I'm going to try and give my most unbiased opinion possible.
Do your most unbiased, but say what your heart feels. Or say what you would put in your Stanley Cup bracket to win money, for example.
Okay.
How confident are you?
Let's start with talking about Montreal. Because that, like, it's really, really tough to say. The person who's leading the Habs in scoring this year is a defenseman. That doesn't really scream a threat to me, especially when that defenseman only has 40 points. Like, if it was like Cale Makar being your most dangerous guy, that's a little different because the guy seems to score every game. But I don't know. I'm just looking at their forward group right now. It screams all third line wingers. Like, I don't think there's a forward on that team that would make the Leafs top 6. And that might be unpopular, but it is what it is. Like, if you look at the Leafs top 6, you got Hyman, Matthews, Marner.
I think
Lino Tavares, Nylander.
I think it's subjective. Okay, let's okay. It's in a literal speaking. Okay, the whole, you could probably, I'd take Josh Anderson and you could see him playing first line minutes. Who knows with Matthews, Marner?
Would you rather Josh Anderson play with Matthews and Marner than Zach Hyman?
No, but I definitely would like a Josh Anderson player on my team. I'm just saying all these players are subject. Like, you can't just say they're a third line player. You know, who knows? They work with their system. They're a different line player to their system.
And I'm not here to just shit on the Habs. Like, they're in the playoffs for a reason.
No.
But I'm looking past. Okay, so their top point scorers are Toffoli, Petrie, Suzuki, Tatar. And past Suzuki, our fourth line center has more points than him this year, which is Tatar with 30.
Okay, and I know where you're getting into this. So I know you're speaking a lot of, like, Leaf fans are very happy that you're saying this right now.
And I'm being quite frank, Habs fans can argue with me all they want, but that's a literal stat. They can't fight that. I'm not saying that's going to be the be all end all in the playoffs. I haven't even gotten to that yet because that's where you're going to get really shocked by my prediction. The only thing that the Habs have going for them is Carey Price, and all it takes is Carey Price to get hot. And to put things simply, you're fucked. You're done. You're done if the Habs get hot, or if Price gets hot. You're so done. Like if he, like you got to put into perspective. Like you can say, oh, he's been dealing with injuries and that all year. Last year he also dealt with injuries, and he was also very piss poor in the regular season. That's the reason the Habs were 24th last year in the league. They wiped out the Penguins, and Carey Price put up a .948 save percentage.
Yeah.
So
what's your prediction?
It's kind of scary. I'm going to go, oh, this is going to be so bold. And you see, the thing is, it's a win-win for me because my team wins or my prediction's right, but I got Habs in 7. I do, and it's solely Carey Price. That's it.
And this is logic. This isn't even what your heart's telling you. Is this what your heart's telling you or logic?
Logic. No, my heart's telling me the Leafs would like absolutely walk the Habs like their dog.
What's your heart saying?
My heart says Leafs in 5. Logic says, oh, we have an unproven goalie going into the playoffs and a backup who used to be our starter that's played 2 games in 3 months. So, like, goaltending is crucial in the playoffs. Like, you don't get anywhere with a cold goalie. We know this. We've seen Boston, Toronto. Tuukka Rask's out goalied Freddie how many times? So
I'm okay. Anyway, I want to get to my take because I'm just disgusted on you. I'm gonna be the absolute guy. I'm gonna be the villain here. Sorry, Habs fans. I'm gonna rain on your parade. I'm very shocked that it wasn't the other way around, what your heart was telling you and what logic was telling you, because we're complete opposites. This is a complete win for me because I know I'm going to be right. Okay, this is gonna age like fine wine. Okay, listen to me right now. The Toronto Maple Leafs are better all the way around than the Montreal Canadiens. Have you seen the lineup? There's
even goaltending.
The depth.
Let
me ask you this. Okay. You can put scenarios, you can put what ifs, you can do all that. Okay. I base my predictions off what cards I've been dealt. Okay. So Jack Campbell is 17-2-2 as a starter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know who that's better than?
Every goalie in the league.
No. You can say that, but let's go with more specific. That's better than Jake Allen. I can tell you that.
Jake Allen won't sniff the ice in the playoffs.
That's better than Jake Allen. Well, let me tell you this, because you freak out so much about Freddie Anderson. Leaf Nation freaked out about him playing in Ottawa, potentially being the game 1 starter. What about Carey Price's injuries? Carey Price has been injured. We've been playing Jake Allen all year. Carey Price has been injured this whole year. He's not 100%. You think he's gonna? You think? And when he was playing and when he wasn't injured, was he good? No, he was worse than Allen.
Yeah, but you see,
the price
I don't
is
know
not.
why,
The
and
price
there's
is wrong, bro.
There's absolutely 0 sense behind it. But Carey Price does turn it on in the playoffs. It makes 0 sense, but he does.
No, man, there's not been a year like this. You can say last year. Dude, Carey Price was probably in the best condition he's ever been for the Montreal Canadiens. I took the Montreal Canadiens to beat the Penguins last year. I was the only one that did. Because Carey Price...
What was the reason for that?
Because Carey Price was fully healthy. Fully healthy. He had... The pause of the playoffs started in March, and the resume to play continued in August, correct? August.
Yeah.
So, if we count on our fingers... April, May, June, July, August. 5 months to start up. That's 5 months of rest, 5 months of recovery. Carey Price was 100% healthy. I take that over a Pittsburgh Penguins team that had goaltending problems. But that's not what Carey Price. That's not the cards that have been dealt this year. Carey Price is injured. He's not. He doesn't have 5 months of rest. He's not healthy.
The problem is we don't know how injured he is or if he's injured.
Because he's not playing. Oh well, then it'd be the same thing as Freddie, because Freddie was. Remember when we had Michael Hutchison and we played Freddie when he was injured because we were worried about our goaltending.
Yeah.
That's so. Then that's why Freddie Anderson was playing. If the Habs, the Leafs aren't worried about Freddie because Jack has played so good. Like, we don't need Freddie. If
No,
Jack
we're not scared about Freddie because he won't touch the ice at all.
Exactly, because we know Jack has been better. But
And you're gonna ride the hot hand. And when Jack crumbles, if Jack crumbles, it could happen. You never know.
When's the last time? Can you look this up? When's the last time Carey Price played in a game? Can you
April 19th.
April 19th.
So it would be a month.
So he hasn't
exactly
played
a
in a
month
month.
after the playoffs.
So
when the playoffs start.
So you're telling me, and he dealt with an injury before that injury, correct? How many games has he played? I'm gonna go on HockeyDB right now.
I'm assuming like 25.
25.
Is that how many he's played?
He's a 901 save percentage, bro. Listen, he's been injured. Jake Allen has played more than him. Okay.
Carey Price is starting game 1.
Yeah. The Habs have this problem the Leafs have, just without a Jack Campbell.
They don't have a save my starter, like a backup.
Jake
Allen was really, really, really good in the beginning of the year.
Okay, but you're saying that do you think we wouldn't be playing Freddie game 1 if Jack Campbell wasn't disgusting over the span Freddie's been injured?
Jack Campbell's been great, and I really hope he keeps it up.
But say he wasn't.
To be frank, that's the Leafs' only chance.
Say
he have shit goalies.
Say he was crap. We would be starting Freddie game 1 too. The Habs are doing the exact same thing the Leafs are, only they don't have a Jack Campbell that played as well to be the starter. So they have to start Price. If Allen had Campbell numbers, Allen would be starting too.
Okay, let's hear your series prediction for Toronto Montreal.
I think the Leafs kill them everywhere, and they outplay them every time. Like they outplay them in the regular season. I'm done with this. I'm done with this narrative. Like, I'm not gonna. I'll tell you what. I'm speaking out of logic here. I'll tell you what my heart says, but logic is saying that this team is better everywhere, and I'm not gonna judge past seasons on their season at hand right now because it's different. It's not even correlated. So, giving that, I'm gonna judge this. I'm gonna say the Leafs. I'm gonna call the sweep. The Leafs in 4 or 5. Leafs in 4 or 5. I'll go with the bold take, Leafs in 4 to be bold or crisper, but I seriously think the series goes 5. I think the Leafs rested with their playoff lineup, win both games at home, rested, win the first game in Montreal, and then the second half of the back-to-back is 50-50 for me. But then if they lose that, then they win game 5. That's my series prediction for Toronto-Montreal. I don't see any... And this could age the worst out of anything. We could get swept. This could be the end of my career. But that's just how I see it. I can't. And if it's the end of my career, well, fuck, good.
Okay, so you have Toronto, Edmonton meeting up in the second round.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. Yeah, the 1 and 2 seed meeting up. I'm sorry, I just don't think. I don't know
why. I really want the Leafs to win, obviously, but I don't know why I feel like a Price Hellebuck. It's either gonna be a Price Hellebuck or a McDavid Matthews.
I just can't, dude. It can't. If it's not this year, it's never going to be.
If Price is unbelievable, dude,
it doesn't matter.
Win. If Price is average, the Leafs smoke the Habs.
Dude, exactly. Price has to be unbelievable for the best 4 out of 7 games.
And you know what? That is extremely possible.
Why?
We're talking about Carey Price.
Why?
We're talking about Carey Price.
The 901 Carey Price, the one that's played 25 games, the one that's on injury.
He's a different breed in the playoffs, and you should know that. A different
breed, what, coming off injury? Dude, I'm not basing the past on him right now. He's not a good goaltender right now.
Okay, but I wouldn't go out and say he's not a good goaltender. You got to keep in mind. You got to keep in mind who he's playing in front of. The Habs team outside of their goalie is dog shit.
Yeah, I think we said that about Dave Riddick too, and he hasn't seen the fucking net.
Okay, Dave Riddick won't ever wear a Leafs jersey again. Just letting you know.
I know.
He's done.
5th round, but yeah, it's exactly what we said. Not good enough. Bro.
He played 2 games for the Leafs. He got 3 points.
Dude, there's no way this team with Joe Thornton, all these guys that will drive the morale.
Yeah, that's
drive
another
the
side of it,
intensity.
though. That's another side
Exactly.
of it. Is that I don't see Joe Thornton getting out round 1. I don't see Jason Spezza getting out. Like, these guys are playing for a cup they've never won,
Yeah,
and they're in the
bro.
dying ages of their career.
Dude, all signs
that alone
point
makes
to
me
the
want to
Leafs.
switch my pick.
So, okay, are you switching your pick or not? Because
That
we're
alone.
moving on. We're moving
I
on.
totally forgot about those 2 old farts
Okay,
who
well,
will die trying to win the cup.
okay, well, we're about to move on to the Central. If you're not, are you gonna keep your Montreal in 7, or are you gonna go Leafs in 7? Leafs in 4 or 5 for me. I'll say 4,
They're
but
killing the
it could be
demons.
5.
They're killing the demons. They're killing them.
So you're switching your pick, Leafs in 7.
Leafs in 6.
I
If they go to game 7, they lose.
Okay,
They have to do it in 6 or less.
Okay. Moving on to the Central. We'll say Leafs in 6. Okay, so you got the Leafs and Jets. I got the Leafs and Oilers. We got the Central. Let's start off with the less juicy. Actually, it's kind of juicy. It's a little juicy. It's got a little.
Both of the series are going to be great.
Yeah, this is a juicy. This is a juice box, bro.
Yep.
Well, let's 1 and 4. The Carolina Hurricanes versus the Nashville Predators.
Oh, I am picking an upset here hard.
Okay.
I am taking an upset hard. Like this is going to age so poorly, but in my opinion, like Nashville's been the hottest team in the league in the last month of the season. Like you realize, like last week when Nashville played Carolina back to back, they won like 6-0 and 4-1. They killed them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Carolina's a good team and a bunch of jerks, whatever. They had a fairy tale season. They won the Central. Good for you. Congratulations. They're gone round 1. And it's not going to be close because UC Soros is cracked right now. And I don't see any pucks getting by him. I think I got Nashville in 6. You are welcome to disagree. And this might age poorly. And the good thing about this series between Nashville and Carolina is if it ages poorly, I don't give a shit because it's Nashville, Carolina.
That sums it up perfectly. Another disagreement. Nashville, you've been a great story. I heard you guys love country, and we love maple syrup. There's a lot of things we like, but I think it's over for you guys. I think Carolina is just a bad. I don't think this one's particularly close. It's great job, Nashville. It's like they're hot coming into the playoffs. Cool. It's the Carolina Hurricanes, man. It's the Carolina Hurricanes. This team's already been to a 3rd round. This team has been great. They've reached a new level this season, especially in that division with Tampa Bay, with Florida. This is going to be. This is probably one of my easier picks. Your pick is stupid.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that. You can disagree with it all you want, but I'm gonna take the Carolina Hurricanes, and I'll take it in 6 to be spicy.
Okay.
There you go, bud.
Yeah, I got Preds in 6 there.
Next, we got the Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Central. What do you got going on there?
I got Tampa. I got Tampa in 5 max. They're gonna kill them. They're gonna kill them, bro.
Okay, we can go through this quick. For Lightning fans, I guess I can sub this up for both of us. Good team gets their good players back. That they're good without.
No, it's not even that, bro. Good team gets their best players back.
Yeah, they
They finished within
That's all you can
striking
say.
distance of the Canes without Kucherov and Stamkos, and Hedman's playing on a torn ligament for fuck's sake. It's not close.
Steve Dangle said this on his podcast. He said, all the stats point to the Panthers, but your heart says differently, and that's why they.
Bro, Tampa's gonna walk them like a dog. And I'm so
Florida.
sorry, Panthers fans. Like, I know this is the second time you've made the playoffs in 25 years, but you're gonna be gone so fast.
So you're taking the Lightning in 5.
The Lightning are gonna kill them.
I think you're vastly underestimating the Florida Panthers. Vastly. I do think it will be a Lightning. I think the Lightning will win, but I think it will definitely be in 7. I'm going to take the Lightning in 7.
You think that one's going 7?
Oh, yeah. Dude, the Panthers are great.
See, the problem I have with picking like early series, like Toronto Montreal, it's gonna be easily the most viewed NHL game in years.
For 4 games. Leafs
No.
in 4.
No. Okay. Anyway, if you don't think the league is going to try and do everything they can to get 7 games of that to maximize revenue, you're nuts.
Okay, but how much revenue would you make if the Leafs won the Stanley Cup?
It doesn't really matter because you think they want the Leafs to win the cup when there's no fans in the building, or do you want them to wait until they can pack it right full? Like, you know what I mean? And the thing
Okay,
with
let's
Leafs
not get into
Nation,
conspiracies. Let's not get into
no,
conspiracies.
hey, wait up.
No.
The thing with Leafs Nation is that no matter if the Leafs suck or the Leafs are the almighty dynasty, they're still going to bring in the most money in the league.
Joel,
Leaf fans are stupid.
Joel, let's not talk about our let's not get the scars out from past seasons, all right? Let's move on to the West, okay? Let's move on.
This is a fun one. This is a fun one.
This is a fun one. Let's go with the Colorado and the Colorado Avalanche versus St. Louis Blues. I already know where you're gonna stand. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one first.
You go ahead.
Because I think I have a little bit of a more shocking take.
I do too.
Let me go. Okay, I'm gonna say it out of the way. I have the Avalanche taking this game, and I think it will be in 6. I think the St. Louis Blues will keep it close. I think it will be a tidy series. I think it will be a dirty series, but very tidy from the St. Louis Blues. I think there's still pieces on that team. Again, Ryan O'Reilly in the playoffs is a different breed. I think there's still pieces on that Stanley Cup winning team. Binnington's a question mark, but I think the Colorado Avalanche are going to win a hard-fought series, a hard 6 games, potentially an overtime one.
And the next one, 6. The 2-3.
Are you taking the Colorado Avalanche as well? Basically the same thing.
Nope.
Okay, well we'll start with that one.
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done. I'm taking the Avs in.
Okay, so the problem is I initially, if Colorado finished second in the division, I would have picked them to win the Stanley Cup. But they just had to come first, and I don't think that was a very I don't think that was a very good idea. I'm more scared. I would be more scared of the St. Louis Blues than I would the Minnesota Wild. Do you feel me?
Okay.
Obviously, St. Louis winning the cup within the last 2 years has something to do with that. I know they're missing Pietrangelo, which hurts. And the goaltending is a big throw up because you never know what Bennington's going to pull out. Is he going to be 2019 playoff form? Is he going to be this whole year absolute terrible? He's been dark garbage this year. But I have the upset. The President's Trophy curse lives on, man. I have to pick it.
I didn't know where you stood at all. I don't get your bracket's gonna be so weird.
No, you wait till my bracket wins it all because it's the most out there.
Listen, I'm gonna go. Okay, you know what? That's weird. I'm taking the Avalanche. They're definitely not losing round 1. I just don't see it. I'm taking the Avs in 6. You're taking the Blues in what? Sorry.
7.
In 7. Okay. Let's go on to the 2-3. The Vegas Golden Knights versus the Minnesota Wild. Listen, I want to. When you said Minnesota, like you think the Avalanche would. Minnesota is, I think, in contention for the most underrated team in this league. Do you know how good Minnesota is? Have you seen Kaprizov?
Okay, let me stop you there.
The Avalanche.
I want you to tell me. Who they have in net. I want you to tell me their starting goalie for game 1.
Cam Talbot, bro, and he's gross. Get out of here. And he's gross.
Cam Talbot.
And he's been gross.
Cam Talbot.
And he's been gross.
Bro,
no,
you have to realize.
I'm taking the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm taking the Knights in 7. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go off here.
The Wild have looked good.
The Wild are not even sniffing a playoff spot if they're not in a division with those California wretched, garbage, awful teams.
I don't know. Well, they killed the team. They killed the team that you just said to upset the President's Trophy winners in that awful division. So I don't know where you got.
They killed St. Louis.
Minnesota finished the year with 75 points. St. Louis finished it with 63.
I'd like to see head-to-head results.
I'd like to see that they have a -1 goal differential. The Minnesota Wild.
See, the reason St. Louis is behind the pack, they lost like 7 straight to Arizona.
Okay, and
they don't do that, then they're ahead of the Wild. And I said the same thing about the Senators, bro. You look at the North Division standings right now. the Senators win half those games. They went 0-9 versus the Oilers. They passed the Habs.
I know, bro. Jesus Christ. Dude,
Half
they had
them.
a really good end to their season.
They win half the games against the Oilers. They're ahead of the Habs.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so getting back to the Minnesota Vegas.
I got the
have
Knights in
Vegas.
7.
I got Vegas too.
And what?
I'm not picking the picking the
what?
Wild at all.
And what?
I got Vegas in. I don't know. I think they can drag it out.
7?
I think it'll be 6.
6? Okay, so that leaves us with the East and the West with the second round in the East, which would end up being, for me, it would be the Islanders versus the Bruins, and for you, it would be the Islanders versus the Capitals. I'll start off. It's hard for me to root against the Boston Bruins, especially, like I said, with their trade deadline acquisitions. I think they're too good to lose to an Islanders team who would be a lot better if they're so bad on offense, and I know I have them beating the Penguins, but they're not good offensively. They have a great coach, but I'm gonna take Boston in 7 again because I think the Islanders have what it takes in the playoffs. I think they all buy into a system, and I think they all play great playoff hockey. So I do think it will be another 7-game series, but I'm gonna take the Boston Bruins beating the New York Islanders to win the East and come out of the East in 7.
Okay.
You will have the Islanders versus the Washington Capitals. Who makes it out of the East for you?
I'm taking the Islanders, and solely on a personal level. You know, not me personally, but like the emotions. Like Barry Trotz knocking out his old team for the second year in a row. I could definitely see happening. So I'm taking the Isles to move past the Capitals in like 7 games. So
Okay.
I have the Isles winning the East
Okay.
as the 4th seed.
You have the Isles coming out of the East. I'm gonna save this one for last. Let's go on to the Central. Who's coming out of the Central? So you have the Nashville Predators versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. What do you got going on there?
Tampa. I got Tampa. And I'm not betting against Tampa until they play my my other pick. But I don't think any team in the Central matches up well with Tampa. They're just their firepower is insane. They have the best goalie in the league, arguably one of the top 3 at least. They have every defenseman on that team could win the Norris, which is outstanding. Somehow they can do that. Like, who's their defense core? They got Savard, Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev.
It's insane.
That's an insane top 4.
It's insane.
That's not fair. Anyway, so I got Tampa in 6, winning the Central.
Okay. And for me, I will have the Hurricanes versus the Lightning. You don't usually see teams go back to back. I know the Pens did it. You don't usually see it too often. And the Lightning don't strike me as a team to do it. I don't know why.
Me neither.
I have a huge feeling about Carolina this year. I think they have the team to do it, man. And really, Peter Mrazek is the X factor there. That whole goaltending tandem is the X factor. But I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna take the Carolina Hurricanes to win in 7 games.
That'd be a good
The
series,
Carolina
though.
Hurricanes.
Be a good series.
And now we have the Honda West. Who's coming out of the West for you, Joel?
So I have the Blues in Vegas.
You have the Blues and the Knights.
I got the Knights coming out.
And
I don't think it'll be very close. And I think the only reason St. Louis will get by is a fluke because of the President's Trophy curse. So I think Vegas takes them out in, like, I don't know. Let me pick a random number. 6, 5 or 6.
Okay. And
Vegas wins the West.
For me, I have the Knights versus the Avalanche. Just hard-fought series. Blood, sweat, and tears. This is a rough one. This is a long one.
That should be a Stanley Cup final.
Ultimately,
honestly.
like I said, when you go, it's going to be an insane series. But ultimately, when you have that happen, you got to go with the goaltending duel. You got to go with the Vegas Golden Knights, and I'm going to take the Knights at 7. And last but not least, advancing out of the North, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Edmonton Oilers. You have the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Winnipeg Jets. Let's start off with you. Why do you pick this matchup, and what happens?
For one, I picked the matchup because depth purposes, the Leafs have better depth than the Habs. The Jets have better depth than the Oilers. The Oilers have no depth. Not like that's a challenge. See, this one you gotta really. It's both teams have insane forward depth between the Jets and the Leafs. They have 3 solid scoring lines, and a fourth line that will play 4 minutes a night in the playoffs. So you could write that one off. Defense pairings, I would give the edge to the Leafs because the Jets pairings are, Morrissey, Pionk, like it's not good. But the goaltending edge definitely goes to Winnipeg, and you can't even argue that. I don't care how good Jack Campbell's been this year. It's Connor friggin' Hellebuyck. But the way I've seen the Jets-Leafs games go so far this year, if I were to base it on that alone, I would have the Leafs beating the Jets for the North Division title in 6 games.
Okay, so let's get into my predictions for the for who's coming out of the North. So I have the Leafs versus the Oilers. This is going to be a reoccurring theme, but again, the Leafs just dominated the North Division, and one team they played well all season was the Oilers. They dominated the Oilers, and more specifically, dominated Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I think they have a harder time doing that in the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, but once again, I think the roster all around, offense, defense. Even, Mike Smith's been good, so, that's a toss-up, but whatever, okay? I'm still taking the Toronto Maple Leafs in 6 games. They're coming out of the North.
All right,
so that
getting
means...
into the Final Four, who do you have, and I'll tell you the seeding.
I have Toronto, Boston, Carolina, Vegas.
Okay, so it would be Vegas versus Boston and Carolina versus Toronto in the Final Four.
Yeah. Okay. So, for that, I would take... Yeah, so I would take for Vegas, and let's start off with Vegas and Boston, my Final Four. For Vegas and Boston, I don't know if to go with my heart or with logic. What do I do? Go with heart or logic?
You go with whatever you feel is right.
Okay, well, I feel this is right. I do, deep down in my heart, and just it's gonna be 100% biased. Whatever you want to say, I'm gonna have complete reasoning behind it, but I'm gonna say the Boston Bruins are going to win in 7 games. The Boston Bruins are gonna take that energy again. I love their team. I hate them with everything in me, but I love their team. I love how it's constructed. Again, I would have loved that team more with Torrey Krug on it, but again, Taylor Hall is not too shabby up there. But Tuukka Rask, I think he's gonna make it to another Stanley Cup final, because my logic. Here's why I asked, because logically, if I were doing the bracket, I would take Vegas, but what I feel is gonna happen, I think it's gonna be Boston in 7.
Now getting on to Carolina, Toronto for you. Carolina
and Toronto. That's what I said. Here comes to my reasoning for all of it. Okay, here comes my reasoning for all of it. I truly believe that this. No, this is a fact. The Leafs will never have a better chance to win a Stanley Cup than this year. They will never have the chance like this ever again. This is their best chance since the original 6 to win the Stanley Cup. If it's not now, when? When, man? When? It has to be now. And if it's not, then I don't know what to do, man. Can you be confident in the playoffs anymore? Even with a second round exit? As a Leaf fan, can you be confident in going to the playoffs?
No, it's third round. It's third round or nothing.
It's third round or nothing, man. And I think this is the best team we've seen in our lifetime. And if they can't make it to the third round, man, what do we expect? The drought can't go on forever. Nothing lasts forever. And this is the best chance it's been given to the Leafs. They've realized this, and they've added to every part of their roster. The Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm just gonna go with what my heart says, and if my heart lets me down, it does. But it's never, the drought's never gonna end if it's not this year. So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna take the Toronto Maple Leafs winning in 7 games in a nail biter. to the Carolina Hurricanes.
So we'll get to my final four now. You're gonna have Toronto Boston final.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds very not very good for my blood pressure. Anywho, moving on to my final four, I believe I had Tampa, Toronto, Vegas, and the Islanders, correct?
Islanders, yes.
Okay, so under that it would be Vegas versus the Islanders. It would be Toronto versus Tampa Bay.
Yeah, bro. It just does the Central and the East. You're just doing the East, and it's the teams from the East and the.
No, it's based on reseeding. This is just a coincidence on how that's working out.
But it did it the last time too.
Yeah, I know. It's just coincidence based on how the seedings work. Trust me, it's
sure?
based on regular season. Yeah, it is. Anywho, starting off with Vegas and the Islanders. Believe it or not, I'm taking the Islanders over Vegas.
Okay.
You can call me crazy, but the Islanders made the second round 2 years ago. They made the conference final last year. I think they make the jump to the cup final this year. They're good, and they have the best coach in the league, hands down.
I don't know. They're one of the worst teams offensively. I don't know how far that gets you.
Yeah, but when you can shut down like the Islanders do, and they played the trap, no one can score on them.
I could see it.
So that's my only reasoning, and it's nothing against the other teams.
Games?
It's just I have Isles over Vegas in 7. I think it goes the distance. Moving on to Toronto versus Tampa. That one is tough. Because if you look back to the last time the Leafs actually played Tampa, last season, it was looking like we were going to have a Tampa Bay Toronto first round until COVID. The Leafs played them really well. Like really, really well. I think they only played them 3 times in the 2019-20 season. I'm pretty sure they went 2-1. I think their last game before the shutdown was a win over Tampa in Toronto. I'm pretty sure. Because they were about to play Nashville right after. This is bold and biased. I'm taking Leafs. I'm taking Leafs all day versus Tampa. I think they match up really well.
Didn't you say
no, they both get off.
Them?
They both.
You started this off saying the Habs would beat them.
Yeah, but then I forgot about Joe Thornton. You can't bet against Jumbo. Anyway, so I have the Leafs over Tampa in 7 games. I think that they match up the best. Like, if you were to list every team in the league and go, who would the Leafs best match up against? It's Tampa.
Okay.
Because they play similar styles, right? It's like run and gun. You go score a shit ton of goals. You know what I mean?
Yep. So you have Leafs and what?
I have the Leafs and Islanders in the Stanley Cup final.
Leafs and what in the series though? Leafs in 7.
Oh, I have Leafs over Tampa in 7. So that would make for me to have a Leafs Islanders Stanley Cup final. You have a Leafs Boston Stanley Cup final. We'll let you go first. Let's hear it.
Like I said, this whole bracket is based on what I feel. This is a fairy tale story, okay? Think about it. Again, like I said, this team hasn't won in over 50 years, okay? The drought was the longest in the NHL. Okay. They have Jumbo Joe who needs a ring. Jason Spezza, Wayne Simmons, all these guys on your team. Austin Matthews grew into a different level type of goal scorer this year. You see Mitch Marner improving his game. You see guys like Nick Foligno joining the team and making an impact. Did you see him in the Sens against the Sens last game?
I loved him.
Man, I really do believe this team is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And people are going to call us biased for both having the Leafs.
No,
in the
I
Cup
don't
final.
care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Listen, at the end of the day, I think this is a fairy tale story. Getting Jumbo Joe a ring, it has to happen. What team? Ray Bourque had to get a ring. Where did he choose? Colorado. Where does Jumbo Joe choose? Toronto. It has to happen, bro. And if they lose it's either they're gonna lose in the first round or go to the finals. In my opinion, they're gonna go to the finals. Okay, it's got to be the fairy tale ending. If all this other fairy tale shit happens, it's the all Canadian division. Whoa, it's the Jumbo Joe story. Jason Spezza, Wayne Simmons. It's the and then you add this element of you play the Boston Bruins, your number 1 foe in the playoffs, and you slay the dragon in 7 games. No
All right.
more 4-1. No
All right.
more.
Now, wouldn't it be better if Boston was up 4-1 in the third and they collapsed?
No, none of that shit. Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. God damn it, Joe. No, I'm saying it right now. That's how I feel in my heart. That's how I feel will be the final end to all of our Leafs Nation's, all of our pain in our life.
Now, as Leaf fans, we're both picking the Leafs going to the final. So basically, that confirms that they're going to lose in the first round.
Oh, absolutely. But that's how I feel in my heart. If they lose in the first round, I couldn't have changed that. We couldn't have changed that, bro. Yeah.
Not up to us. We're not the ones out there on the ice.
No.
So that's your pick. You have Leafs over Boston in 7 games to win the Stanley Cup.
I think it's going to be some fairy tale crap like that, man. Think about it. No more 4-1. That pain would be forgotten. Best team in Canada. No more 1967. All this done. You solved every problem in history with the Boston Bruins, beating them in Game 7. I think it has the most fairy tale of fairy tale endings, and I think a guy named he's gonna be a great one day. He's gonna be remembered in Leafs Nation for a long time. Mr. Austin Matthews
with the Conn Smythe
will be the Conn Smythe winner, and will get the game-winning goal in that game.
Okay.
In that game where the Leafs hoist the Stanley Cup. I don't care. I'm being 100% biased. If it doesn't happen now, if I'm wrong, never. Cup's not coming to Toronto. I'll never be biased again. I'll never pick them. Fuck them.
Okay, so my series, I believe I had Toronto Islanders, correct?
Yeah.
Which means Toronto would have home ice, whatever the hell that's going to mean, whether they're playing in Buffalo or Toronto or who the fuck knows. I think this is a fairy tale as well. Not the Toronto-Boston, like you said, but John Tavares coming back to New York.
Fuck that shit, dude.
And that makes everything to me because the Islanders have fans in the building, I'm pretty sure. Most U.S. teams do.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great to see Captain John Tavares in Game 6 go lift the cup in front of New York and just flip the freaking bird?
I would love to flip the freaking bird at Max, and I would love to flip the bird at Max just to say, can you do this? I don't know. I would love to flip. I'm gonna say that all over again just in case you can't stick the bird up. I would flip the bird at Max and all these Bruins fans, and I don't care about the Islanders. Who's an Islanders fan? I don't contact Islanders fans anywhere.
Yeah, but it's not about the fans. It's about the team, and it's about
they're actually very loyal fans.
JT is our captain. No matter how much I hate it, JT is our captain. He will be the first to lift the cup right before Joe friggin' Thornton, and he will 100% lift it in front of New York City.
Hold on, my mom's calling. Okay, let's keep going. Man, I can't see. You don't want to play Boston in the finals. You're scared of that. I know you. Deep down, you're scared of that.
Yes, I am.
You're scared of that. And you're scared
Yes,
of
I
them
am.
losing in that series. I don't see it. I think the Leafs would slay that dragon more than you'd ever see it slayed.
If the Leafs played Boston, in my opinion, when I look through Boston's lineup, I know you just finished saying that you like how they're built, etc. I look through Boston's lineup and I go, there is nothing that goes, oh God, about that team. Like, their first line, obviously, is the killer line. Pastrnak, Marchand, Bergeron, best line in hockey, arguably. I don't think I'm wrong when I say that.
Nothing of it is nothing. It's not nothing.
Two lethal offensive talents in Marchand and Pastrnak. No matter how many people hate Marchand, he's elite. And you have the best two-way center in the NHL. Not two-way defensive center. You have the best defensive center in the NHL. In Patrice Bergeron, who's won God knows how many Selkies. The second line, Krejci, Hall, and Craig Smith, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. That line's been on fire, and I could see it being an issue, but I don't think people remember that our first line has the best goal scorer in the league on it, and one of the best playmakers in Matthews and Marner. Our second line is John Tavares, William Nylander, and whoever the hell you want to put next to them. That's also lethal. So I don't know. I think it would be close, but I think the Leafs would win over Boston, in my opinion. And stand by this when I say it, and you can call me an idiot, but 2019 when the Bruins went within one game of winning the Stanley Cup against the St. Louis Blues, the Leafs would have beaten Boston that year had Kadri not gotten suspended for 5 games.
100%.
And they
100%.
would be you can't even, like, could you imagine where would the Leafs have gone? Because Bruins made it to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. Where would the Leafs have gone if they beat Boston?
Dude, who knows? It's all, but none of that matters anymore because this year it's going.
No, you're 100% right. None of it matters. It makes zero difference.
In Madison Square Garden, no, in it would be the Leafs did better than the Bruins, so it would be in the ACC or the Scotiabank Arena. In the Scotiabank Arena, and you're gonna hear the Leafs goal horn, and Bruins fans, you're gonna hate it. And you're going to hate that goal horn like we hated yours after Game 7 in 2013.
Okay, so that wraps up our playoff talks. We both have the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the Stanley Cup and 100% unbiased opinions from two diehard Maple Leafs fans.